Barcelona about to win a treble. How do you think this maybe, possibly?
Oh, yeah, you're very confident when you say that.
How do you think this stacks up to their previous treble-winning iconic teams? Thinking back to the 08-09, the 2015-2016, Pep, Luis Enrique. How do you think this compares?
This is, I would say this is impressive, mainly because of all the other drama around all the institutional issues that Barcelona are going through, especially in the last 2-3 years. So the fact that they can go through all these financial issues and still put out a strong team and you got to give the applause is really to these academy kids that who are propping up this team right now. So when I think the conversations of is this team, how does it stack up to the other historic Barcelona teams? They seem to be doing more with less, but more with things where you just, I don't think anybody knew exactly what Lamine Yamal was going to be. I don't know if people knew exactly what Pedri was going to be. And they're not, they don't, again, the comparisons to Messi, the comparisons to Xavi and Iniesta are all there for those midfielders.
They're iconic because of all the success they've had. Right. This feels like the beginning of that.
It does. I'm not there yet.
Me neither.
Just like if they win the treble, then we start having that conversation. But the Pep era, that 2009 was insane. It's going to be difficult.
We're starting to sound like old heads though. Young Gen Z. They're the best rapper alive. It's Playboy Cardi, and we're all is it though? Hey. You know what I mean? I feel like Lamine Yamal is going to make an impact on younger fans the same way. I mean, how can he not at 17 playing 100 games and scoring so many goals? The same way Lionel Messi may have made an impact on our era. You know what I mean?
Right. And but I don't think it's that isn't the exact conversation we're having. We're if we're literally comparing the teams, this team now to the teams.
But when I'm saying we're not ready, I think the younger folks are this is better than those wrinkly, those pixelated videos I saw of those guys.
It isn't about the individuals. Look, Lamine Yamal is better than Messi was at his age right now.
It's going to take a lot to get to full GOAT, yes.
But collectively, as a squad, this team is look, they're not as good as the teams with Messi and Neymar and
give it time.
Suarez.
Give it time, it may prove, right? But when we think about MSN, when we think about, Iniesta, Xavi, and all these guys, we think of these iconic legends that play the game at a different level. The one thing that takes this era away from that, for me, is that they don't play the Barcelona way. Barcelona was, the way they played changed the game. Everyone else tried to catch up. Everyone else, Pep Guardiola could literally go coach any team because he inputted this system. Yeah. He made the total football, the La Masia way. He brought it to full fruition. Now, under Hansi Flick, it's impressive. It's fun to watch, but it doesn't have the same feeling. It doesn't feel so specifically Barcelona.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look.
And that's the only thing taking me away from it just a little bit. But when you think about all the levers they had to pull, the financial situations, the fact that the stadium and all of these things and sponsors and you can't register players 6 months after you bring them in, all of these things, when you put all that together and you take that their biggest rival has just won the most amount of Champions League in history and seemingly went and got the greatest player of our era, supposedly, in Mbappe. And all of these things seem to be fitting together. And Vinny was this close to winning a Ballon d'Or. Everything seemed it was going the Real Madrid way. And then all of a sudden, here comes the scrappy Barcelona team finding a way to make do with the little bit they have, allegedly. Yeah. And they find a way to win a treble. I think that's going to at least put them in a position where they're a little bit stronger moving forward. And I think we all would agree, even if you don't like Barcelona, a strong Barcelona is good for the game.
Sure. Yeah. And I would even say that collectively throughout the history of Barcelona, and I think maybe we all sort of have this recency bias, if you read Johan Cruyff's autobiography, you hear how chaotic Barcelona is and was back then. And even just dealing with sporting directors and owners and everybody, the board,
it's
and whatever.
It's a political
so
system,
complicated and difficult, and it's just something where you look at the amount of trophies Real Madrid have and Champions League and everything, and there is chaos there as well. It's not that there isn't, but there's just it's a little less hectic. But I think the brand of Barcelona we don't get to like really hear about that much, but it is behind the scenes a little bit more chaotic than people see. So this is why you have these roller coaster years.
You have high highs and low lows.
Exactly. This is Barcelona getting out of that valley.
Right.
So that is good to see, but they're not even close to what the other teams were. But maybe Hansi Flick can break that, because this team is looking like they're in that going in that direction. And again, playing against their rival this season, dominated, fantastic games and drama, and it feels like a movie sometimes. But if they can it looks like they might probably win La Liga. If they win Champions League, they already have Copa del Rey. It's the conversation starts. So we'll see.
Every once in a while, my wife will be on the phone with one of her friends, and they'll be like, "Oh, you saw this guy doesn't have such a great job, and look what he did for his girl." That just goes to prove if he really wanted to, he would. You know what I mean? I feel like Barca is doing that in football.
Exactly.
Look at all the financial struggles, but look at what they were able to put together.
Yeah.
So come on, Arsenal, if you really wanted to, you would.
I always say, just like, why is your wife so hard on you, bro?
Buddy.
All right. Shout out to everybody watching on OneFootball. Thank you. We are the Cooligans. If you like what you see, go. The link is in the description.
Even if you hate what you see, but you like what you hear.
The link is in the description. You can subscribe to our channel as well. All right, everybody. Peace.
Love you guys.